In this bulletin, COVID infections remain above 250. 20% of infections could become severely ill. And CWM to transition into green hospital. And Republic Fiji. 274 new COVID-19 cases were recorded in the last 24-hour reporting period that ended at 8 a.m. yesterday. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says the daily case average is expected to rise. He says there is a new area of concern in Raffle Range, Lautoka. Dr. Fong adds this is following a birthday party that was attended by 14 people from various locations in Lautoka.
Not only does this event show a blatant disregard for our COVID-19 safety measures, it also troubles me that families would recklessly threaten the health of their own family members and the broader community, especially those members of the family and the community who are most vulnerable.
As many as 80 people are at risk of becoming severely ill from COVID-19 when infections reach a peak. PS for Health, Dr. James Fong, says their projections indicate that the highest daily cases could reach 800 for the whole of Viti Levu, with the Central Division being the hotspot for the outbreak. Half the total infections and severely ill cases will emerge from the Lani to Nosori containment zone. Dr. Fong adds their strategy is not to eliminate COVID-19, but to suppress the numbers until the vaccine can hold.
If we look at keeping the disease within the Central Division, where you have half the population, then one would estimate that at its worst, we get about 400 cases a day. So when you get 400 cases a day, then you calculate that 20% of them will be sick. You can see that we will have a huge number of sick people for as long as we are not able to maintain some degree of control over the virus.
Only severe cases of COVID-19 will now be entered into isolation centers, while others who do not display severe symptoms will have to isolate at home. Dr. James Fong says the resources are limited and the response must now be targeted to where it is needed most. The priority now is to care for those who become severely ill and those who may die from COVID-19. A new team has also been set up at the ANZ Stadium in Suva to help transport patients who become severely ill from homes or isolation centers to COVID care facilities.
Over the next few weeks, as case numbers increase, our isolation capacity will become severely tested. As that happens, we need to ensure that we identify and treat those who are most vulnerable to severe COVID-19. Which is why, moving forward, our isolation facilities will be dedicated for patients who are most at risk of becoming severely ill or dying from the virus.
The Nandi and Lautoka hospitals are now fully operational in the Western Division. However, the specialist outpatient clinic in Lautoka Hospital is still closed, and Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Chemesa Tunrabu says they remain hopeful that it will be open by Monday. In the meantime, the ministry's telehealth SOPD services based at the Gurimet Center remain operational. The Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva will start treating non-COVID patients soon. The hospital is still operating as a COVID hospital, but Dr. Tunrabu says the transition will be made soon.
And over the next few days, we'll transition into the green hospital, looking to look after non-COVID cases, while our FEMAT Field Hospital will transition to look after COVID patients. As we go through this transition period in the next few days, we will continue to provide more information and messages on the changes in terms of the health services delivery, as well as the patient movements.
50% of Fiji's targeted population have received at least their first dose of the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine. Vaccine teams have been fully deployed from Monday this week, and Dr. James Fong says they are rolling out vaccines at a rate where it surpassed higher income countries. However, Dr. Fong says we still haven't achieved our target yet.
Our mission is not yet achieved. Our goal is to make vaccines available to every eligible adult in Fiji, and to have those Fijians all accept this safe and effective protection. I am truly puzzled by the pockets of resistance to this vaccine among some people.
Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has once again suspended all repatriation of movement of Fijians from Viti Levu to Maritime Islands. PS for Health Dr. James Fong says this is due to insufficient quarantine facilities in the islands. He says those who have already moved under the program are yet to be cleared from the quarantine facilities and reunite with their loved ones.
We have moved a small group. We have piloted that group, tested our protocols. And once we have reviewed all those protocols and we know that the group is safely out of quarantine, we may have new spaces available.
Dr. Fong has also confirmed a new intermediate care facility has been set up at the National Gymnasium in Suva. He says the facility, which has 50 beds, is for patients who develop severe symptoms of COVID-19. The PS also highlighted that an additional spaces have also been identified in the area if the need for expanding the facility arises. The Fijian Broadcasting Corporation celebrates its 67th birthday today. Chief Executive Rayaz Sayed Qayyum says FBC has had some amazing achievements over the years, which was possible through the support and teamwork of staff. Sayed Qayyum says despite COVID-19, spirits are still high at FBC, and on its birthday, the only wish they have is for lives to get back to normal.
Our birthday wish for FBC is that we want to get our country back to normal. We want to get our work environment back to normal. We want everyone to go ahead and get vaccinated so that the country can go back to some semblance of normalcy.
And to our latest COVID-19 update. There were 274 new cases in the 24-hour period ending 8 a.m. yesterday morning. Majority of the cases remain in the Central Division. The ministry has also identified a new area of concern in Raffle Range, Lautoka. Fiji has recorded 4,348 cases since April of this year. There are now 3,503 active cases in isolation, with 882 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll now stands at 21. Up ahead, no jab, no play. And new deal for Valemei. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Fiji Sports Commission agrees with the Fiji Football Association's stand on vaccination. Sports Commission Chair Peter Macy confirms they've sent the messages out to respective sporting federations in the country, saying no jab, no play. Aquila Dhama reports.
Rugby and football bodies have made some recommendations to the Sports Commission regarding their return to play protocols, and they both have one thing in common.
I think the major one from both sports is that everybody will have to be vaccinated. If people want to, sporting bodies must have a duty of care to everybody that plays, either as athletes, officials, fans, everybody.
Macy says they have to ensure that everyone involved play their part before we get some sports action.
That until we achieve the 80% threshold of all Fijians being fully vaccinated, we can't see that there will be an early return to sports.
Another sport that has joined the effort in combating the virus in Fiji is touch rugby.
The whole idea is to work with the Commission in terms of trying to see how we can engage with the communities and share with them the responsibilities that the communities have towards how we can mitigate this ongoing challenge.
The Sports Commission is urging every sports people to be vaccinated. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
Flying Fijians flanker Peve Liato remains steadfast on his goal in creating history next week against New Zealand in Dunedin. Even though I haven't joined camp, I know it'll be easy for us to adjust to the training since we're able to communicate in Itoke. Imagine if we had a month to train together instead of a week. Fijian winger Semi Valemei has resigned with the Canberra Raiders until the end of the 2024 season. The Raiders announced they have resigned the 22-year-old, which further adds to the depth in the outside backs after the retention of Sebastian Kris and Xavier Savage on Tuesday. Valemei burst onto the scene in 2020 for the Raiders, playing 10 matches in his debut season, winning the club's Rookie of the Year award. Serena Williams' attempt to equal the record for most Grand Slam titles has been put on hold, again after she tearfully withdrew from a first-round match at Wimbledon. She hasn't won a major since 2017, and time is not on her side. Cloudy periods with some showers over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, mostly cloudy conditions with possible afternoon showers. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fg. Until tomorrow morning, take care and may you have a productive Thursday.